All right. And now. Okay, give me a second. Need to grab something. Hello, everybody. Just had to grab something real quick. And I know his boy decided to sit on my seat. It's like one of the few times he doesn't kick off immediately. He doesn't like being held. He's a free spirit. All right, down you go. Down you go. All right. Hello, Demon 3. All right. All right. Are we actually going to be healed up this time, or are we still going to be having some broken ribs? Oh. All right. Fresh from your most recent bout of gratuitous bodily harm and touching scenes of camaraderie you soldier on. You've had a few setbacks, made a couple silly choices. Boy, do things just keep happening. But let nobody say that the main character are incapable of growth and change. You have made sure not to be caught in the wilderness near dawn again, and you have made your way back to civilization. You can't wait to discover what new adventures await you. Adventures like friendship. Let's do Rest Blood. It's probably best for you to stop trying to predict what's going to happen to you at this point. Everything that's happened so far on this planet has been kind of chaotic. In fact, you're ready for something more familiar. You head back to the site of your abandoned spaceship. Sure, it's smashed beyond repair, but it's a little slice of home. Maybe at least one or two pieces of it are fixable. You march off in what you think is the right direction. When you get there, you're not alone. A little guy in a hat and big goggles is standing there, gazing at your spaceship, maybe assessing it. As you watch, he breaks off a couple of gears and stuffs them into his pocket. Hey! You clear your throat loudly. Good galloping gravy. Well, I have never seen the likes of you before. What strange wonders of heavens have rained down upon us today? You quickly lose any indignation you were building up. He's smiling at you, and it was words seemed at least somewhat amicable. Maybe you got this all wrong. Maybe this is the next person you're going to get chummy with. You cut right to the chase. No point in beating around the ground leaf covering. That's probably what they call it on this planet. You let this guy know you're the proprietor of the spaceship he's stripping, and you're in mighty need of a new friend. A friend, eh? A boss a bosom companion, a pal about town. I have seen nary a ton man, Dickus, or Harry around these parts who might fit the bill. You're kind of trying to imply that this guy could be your new friend? Is it too late to say that now? Try to imply it with your eyebrows. As for me, day-to-day matters here in Ontario interests me not. For I care only about hurtling at great speeds through the boundless expanse of the cosmos. That's right, space. It is spaceflight that consumes my every waking thought and all my ardor. As in accordance with my duty as a future Alternian crusader, of course. No oxygen, no wind, a total vacuum. That is a life for me, alright. Flying in space, above the atmosphere, now if in the realm of gravity's purview, won't have it any other way. Right. Get the feeling you're missing something? This guy seems really defensive about his interest in space flight. Like, maybe he's trying to say something totally different? Or it is, his eternal conflict clearly takes precedence over your issues. He seems like a great candidate for a friend, despite the fact that his voice sounds about like it belongs over a newsreel about World War II. Nah. I just have one curious sport, if I may be so bold. Do you also like spaceflight? Do you yearn to see the moon shining above, the clouds whipping by as you chase and tease the impish western winds, and then also to keep going past that up into space? All right, let's get the bad ending out of the way. Tell him you're not so sure about spaceflight. His eyes wide, and you see them sparkle. Ah, I see. You're an individual of more sophisticated palates. A real connoisseur of the buoyant arts, you are. Someone like you can never be satisfied with the anemic affair traveling through the inky blackness of the galaxies. I believe a jaunt to my hive is in order. Let's get a wiggle on. There was a lot going on there. I understand that he wants you to follow him. Friendly guy takes you to a building where all the rooms seem to be balanced on spindly looking stilts. The hive soars above you into the sky. He gestures to a little platform attached to a pulley system, like a rudimentary elevator, and brings you up to a small dark room. His house is pretty much what you would have guessed. The walls are covered in space maps and pictures of spaceships. You notice that many of them have cheery slogans splashed across them, saying things like, "Explore the galaxies, because you're required to fulfill your duty to society," and "Enlist, travel, make friends, don't get cold." Your new friend doesn't seem too happy as he looks around the place. Just the hive for a dedicated spacecraft enthusiast, isn't it? You nod. You're not sure what this is leading to, but no one ever went wrong relying on non-specific and plausibility deniable agreements. Oh my filling. You've rumbled me, potential new chum. What you see before you is a collage of falsehoods. I'm nothing but a aviator baloney. In truth, the mere temptations and desires of space do nothing to tickle my biscuit. The thought of participating in the glorious eternal conquest gives me the screaming mimmies. My interest lies in something a little more lower down. He reaches up and peels back one of the posters. Behind is another poster, this one showing a view of clouds in the night sky. Behold, my shame. The truth is, I long to toss and turn with the grasp of Mistress Gravity's sweet fingers. To traverse the sky, can such a thing be? Imagine flying within the confines of Alternia's very atmosphere, defying the very conventions that we all know to be true. Instead of down, up. Instead of falling, soaring. Can you imagine? Can you see it before you? Can you ever dream of the existence of such a flying machine? Alright, I'm gonna try to fuck up again, apparently not fuck up. I brought you here to show you my truth, and you treat me to mockery. An airplane, a plane that floats in the sky. Flying machines are a serious business. I think you should leave. Tell me you never heard of such a thing. Ah, but the features are to build. My strange-hued and unhorned comrade. What do you think? Does it excite you? Does my idea rattle your buttons? You know, but notice he's referring to as chum and comrade, but friend hasn't made an appearance yet. Do synonyms count? or is it just a tick of his speaking style? You look as earnest as you can and nod vigorously. You're almost positive this is the thing he really wants you to express interest in. Ah, the truth will out. You and I share this furtive passion of the indulgences of the air, a dialogue between a troll, a flying machine, and the stars. But farther away from the stars than we should be in a spaceship. I cannot stress enough how different of a thing this is. You cannot decide between nodding and shaking your head. Here, you can't decide between nodding and shaking your head here. So, you furrow your brow and do your best to look thoughtful, like maybe you're contemplating the differences? This fellow's demeanor towards you is definitely shading to the more temperate climate zone. However, certain physical needs are starting to assert themselves. You're still pretty banged up from your previous adventures. Right now, the aching of your stomach is screaming for attention. You only ask your friend to be if there might be any chance of getting a bite to eat. But of course. Why, if I had known you had a rumbling in the old digestion bladder, I wouldn't have shut my upper tooth sweet. Time for a sweet old nosh. A yummaroony. What ho? How should we obtain the victuals? We could venture into the great unknown, which is to say, out of my hive. Or we could say here, behold, whatever twists and turns lay fate a storm for us in the tradition block. What say ye, Timer? Wow, you're getting a lot of options in this one. Stay in the hive. You tell him any food he has in the house will be fine. Surely staying here will get too fed more quickly. No problem at all, my fine and fervent fellow. However, I believe two kindred souls such as ourselves have more ways of being than mere words alone. I think I'm grasping the meaning behind your request. The signal from your transmitter is pinging my cranial orbs receiver. I can see what you're truly after is food for the soul. You definitely meant food for the body. You look for an opening where you might gently correct your new buddy, but he seems to be working himself up to say a lot more things. The delectable nutrition of what a troll's truest being craves, the sustenance of thought, of imagination, of desire, that which nourishes the self better than the finest grub noodles. Art, passion, science. You must have a hankering to see my flying machine design sketches. Despite your troubles, you can't help but think his enthusiasm is kind of sweet. You nod weakly. You make one last attempt indicating that food might strengthen you to fully appreciate his work. No need to worry. I am fully confident in your ability to take in my glorious blueprints. You have shown yourself to be quite the sturdy noggin and a discerning lantern bulb. I welcome your input. Warmth blooms in your stomach. Feels nice to hear him compliment you. You're not sure what you've actually done to earn his praise, but you definitely don't want to ruin this now. Maybe seeing his design will be fun, even on an empty stomach. Maybe it will really nourish you on a level that will help you forget about the prosaic, earthly nourishment you thought you wanted. You tell him you're in. Not so fast. That which I'm planning to reveal to you is what I keep close to my torso pillow. It's not that I don't trust you, my footloose and horn-free cohort, but I think I'll trust you a little more before. I think I would like to trust you a little more before bisecting myself, and displaying my bleeding organs before your penetrating gaze, which is a metaphor for exposing my portfolio. Might it trouble you to participate in a small trust trial? No problem, you tell him. Your bud insists you make yourself comfortable while he gets a few supplies. For a few minutes, he returns with a fistful of fabrics in different colors. Here's what we've been bouncing around the old brain box of mine, buddy-o. I'm going to tie this blindfold around your face. Then I'm going to give you some instructions, and you're going to try to locate the case where I keep my treasured sketches. If you can find it, it means we can trust each other deeply, like two wings working in unison to achieve liftoff. If that's how wings work. I'm still figuring out the principles of the matter. What a romp. Are you up for it? It's too late to turn back now. And really, you don't want to. It's kind of a relief to have him tell you what you can do to earn this friendship in plain terms. Well, as plain as this guy's terms ever get. You give him a thumbs up. Now we're on the trolley. He quickly ties the fabric around your face. The time is upon us. Time for the inaugural flight of your demon mon. Time to nudge our flooding companionship out of the nest and see what happens. Your new friend starts to direct you around the room. To the left. No, my left. Oh, sorry. Okay, I meant your left. And now onwards to the glorious future that lies beyond us. You smile weakly, doing your best to follow his instructions. He sounds happy, so you must be getting somewhere. Almost to the doorway. 3 steps forward if you would be so. Wait! Crash. Sag backwards from the impact. You hear yourself wheeze. The shock has totally knocked your lungs out of commission. You're Your chest jerks in tiny contractions as you grasp for air. Oh, beans. Ding dong, darn it. There's no pain, just an intense pressure focused in the center of your face, right around where you ran to something face first. You pulled the blindfold and you hear footsteps, which probably means your new friend is rushing over to help. He gets the blindfold untied and his face swims into your vision. He looks utterly gobsmacked. Why, I'm a Hornsby Scrubsford. Everything compatible, new pal? Put your hand to your face and touch something wet. Sure enough, when you pull your finger away, they're covered in blood. Your nose isn't gushing or anything, sitting out a couple of ripples let you know it's having a bad day. It's not so bad. The other acquaintance this, but he doesn't look any less horrified. Shivering stomachuli. All this time I've been testing you, to see if I could place the tender gift of trust in your declawed little hands. And here you've bestowed upon me the greatest trust of all, knowledge of your non-standard hematologic attributes. I am truly honored, flabbergasted, absolutely pushed to the brink of rationality by some display of faith. Never mind the trust trial. You deserve to see my sketches. Just wait here. Be back in 2 shakes of a baby Bobby's hind's quarters. Sit on the floor again, wiping the blood off your face. You're not going to question the stroke of luck you've been shown. Why, if you knew bleeding was the key to his affections all along, you could have incurred some blood from the sites of your multiple injuries. But no matter, you sniff the last of the blood back into your nostrils, tasting metal at the back of your throat. When your almost friend returns, he drops a big stack of papers onto your lap. He pages through the designs. The first few are rudimentary, mostly variations on spaceships with little notes like how to make it not reach escape velocity and less jet fuel, shape could be less aerodynamic, maybe melt steel beams with jet fuels. But as you keep going, the designs get pretty interesting. One seems to rely on some big rotational sails to achieve the lift. Another shows a light frame body attached to 4 jointed wings. You really wonder what he plans to make the wings out of before you see the note saying that these are dragon wings. Follow-up scribble states, flapping mechanisms? How to soften rigor mortis. Hang on, take a closer look at the machine frame. This guy's sketch is pretty detailed. The frame doesn't seem to be made of wood or aluminum as you expected, but smaller individual shapes last against together with some kind of cord. Maybe it's just a macabre aesthetic, but you think it looks like bones. You look back at the other designs. Now that you look at it, the seals in this one have a texture that might be leather, or similar. The sketches themselves are picked out in a variety of colors, not dissimilar from some of the brand new blood colors you've discovered lately. Oh boy. You've been down this creepy alien road before, using your lightest, most jocular tone. You question the bone shapes. You soften your words with a big, now freaked out smile. What's that? Well, I'm not a construction professional, you know. Gotta make use of what's available. Only cold low bloods and grubs, of course. Now, an ounce of insurrectional spirit in this fellow over here. We are not unhorned one. These wacky cultural differences, you just misunderstood. You take refuge in your old standby of nodding and smiling. It's none of your business what body parts this fellow uses or doesn't use to make his Wright brothers transformative fan works. Friends aren't for judging people's use of corpses as construction materials anyway. You know, when you crash landed on my planet, I had no idea what to think. Vakire, old boy, you've really shot the balls now. That's what I told myself. Telling an alien about your flying dreams, that's ruffled the kitty and no doubt about it. But now that you're here and you're having a low key at my sketches, I'm thinking it might have been right for us to meet all along. Perhaps the works of the Macarius Madame Destiny. Surely's right. Surely he's about to say that you are friends. You can almost taste those sweet friendship-affirming syllables coming from his mouth. You are just seconds away from that coveted F word. Or are you? Maybe you misconstrued everything. Look back down at the sketches. Bones in this one, bones in that one. He says these plans call for the bones of aliens like him, at least if you understood him correctly. But they don't really look that different from, well, the bones you're more familiar with, your own bones. Your bones, which have already gone through a lot today, and maybe seem to be in a kind of harvestable condition, if one was to be so inclined. Looky Loo. You clear your throat, you say. He's on a Not in the market for these materials right now, is he? Like, right now? The friendly guy doesn't understand your question. You're not going to push it, but you do risk a quick glance at yourself, then back at him, then back at yourself, just to see if he's checking out the stuff, so to speak. When you look back at him, he looks aghast. Oops. Having some biscuits. Is that what you think of me? You think I'm the type to start taking people's body parts all higgly-piggly? As if there aren't plenty of thoughtlessly discarded rib cages to work with? If that's the type of gent you're looking for in these parts, I'm afraid I'm not the type of aggressor with heartthrob you're after. We can't all be macho, bloodthirsty, romantic hero types, ready to whip out our organ harvesting tools at a moment's notice. I thought we could be friends, but now I see you're looking for something different. My apologies. I think it's best if you go elsewhere. You want to correct the misunderstanding, but you're not fully sure what the misunderstanding is. This guy doesn't seem to be in the mood for friendship right now. You hang your head. Looks like this was all just a big waste of time. All right. I really thought that ending was going to lead to the true end because it was just so long. No? They're really starting to expand these routes, it seems like. From your budding chum's words, it sounds like he himself isn't sure if there's any food in the house. Best to risk it and go outside. You tell him your decision. Top choice, buckaroo. Foraging is how I while away most of my time after all. There's just one small matter to trouble the old brain power. If we're venturing out into the unknown yonder, we should obtain some chow for my Lucius as well. He can be a real grumpy Gustavo if he goes too long without his nosh. You'll draw yourself up proudly. It's taken a lot of bizarre run-ins and hair and close shaves, but you know all about Lucius is. You inquire about Gustav, was it? Ho ho, what a card you are. Not my Lucius. I call him the Canary. He whips out a photo. It shows a smaller version of himself, his horns nothing but stubs. A far too big pair of aviator goggles slipping off his nose. Sitting behind him is a large white fowl, big scraggly wings folded back against his body. You want to say an emu? Whatever it is, it's definitely not a canary. Its beak touches the top of your pal's head with something that might count as affection. Hey, he's not a persnickety sort. All kinds of bugs and leaves will tickle his fancy. Shall we away? Shall we greet the horizon that rushes forward to meet us with astounding grace? Shall we give ourselves over to the current of time's great river? Sure, you tell him. You can leave the house. It's getting a lot easier to pay attention to only the words this guy says that actually make sense. Hello, Maxwell. Oh, this sweet, innocent child. You kind of enjoy his way of speaking, though. If nothing else, it gives you a feeling that he's really excited about this food quest you're going on together. Your alien pal leads you back down through the pulley system and outside again. The river's not so easy in your bruised ribs. The thing about walking is, when you walk, your body moves. You've had better times, is all you're saying. You indicate as much to your companion. Oh boy, I hear ya. Moving while attached to turning the surface of the worst kind of hoy. The moment when autonomous flight is invented trembles even closer to the present. Can you hear it approach? The wail of a distant klaxon, the call to adventure. It beckons us forward through the years, a golden thread stretching ever onward to that glorious inevitability. That's not what you meant, but the excitement cheers you up a little. Maybe you'll feel better in the future when someone invents flight on this planet. Certainly by that time, you'll be further along in your healing or dead. Either way, thinking about that future brings a little rosy glow to your heart. You ask your buddy where you're going next. The world is our bivalvular sea critter. We'll go wherever the wind calls our names. Great. But with the short-term answer you're inquiring after, there's a specific plant that canaries like to eat. It's got white petals and leaves as red as the troll's most lurid desires. Can you give a holler if you're ball on something of that persuasion? You agree to keep an eye out. You continue trudging along beside him, wincing whenever your steps jolt your injuries. A little conversation to help distract you. You ask your new friend what got him so interested in flying in the first place. Well, what could be better? Up there, free of worldly concerns. No wind in your face and the horizon at your back. seeing the continents spread out below you. Finally agreeing that your personal... Finally feeling that your personal aesthetic is appropriate for your given circumstances. You chew over this one for a minute or two. Seems like what really makes this guy tick is the travel and adventure thing. Or maybe that's just what you're getting from his general demeanor. Pretty much everything he's said up until now. You're nervous to bring up anything that might make him dislike you, but in the interest of bonding, you forge ahead. Aren't there, you say with apprehension, maybe some similarities between flying and space travel? Like maybe being in a spaceship could satisfy some of those urges? What? There may be some superficial similarities to trick the common troll, but in essence, the blood pusher and soul of each, as different as night and day, as a mountain in a ditch, a star in a mud puddle. Don't get it all wrong. Space travel is fine. Well, it's another way to satisfy our bloodthirsty, nearly immortal overlords. And I look forward to such a time where I can be of service in the eternal millstone grind of intergalactic conquest. But it's missing the punch, the pizzazz, the kaboom, the trunk beast hunk of it all. Just as you feared, you've stepped in and out. You're struggling for a response when, out of the corner of your eye, you spot a cluster of white flowers. Relieved, you point them out to your companion, who raises over to gather them. When he holds one up, you can see it has blue leaves, not red. Your shoulders droop. Seems like all you're doing is disappointing your buddy, who has been so nice to you. Or at least that's what you think you've read between the lines of his confusing style. Fear not, my smooth-headed compatriot. These are not the loosest rations we sought, but this flower is people chow. What I meant to say is, we can eat it. Since we are people, it's food for people, not food made of people, to be clear. He comes back with a fistful of the flowers and hands you one of the blue leaves. You're not at all sure that food that's safe for your buddy will be safe for you as well, but at this point you don't have much to lose. Besides, with the way your stomach is groaning, it might as well be a perfectly steered steak. You put it into your mouth. Chewing on the leaf, you feel even more affection towards this guy than before. You were worried this trip was just turning into an excuse for him to run some kind of household errand, but we really did find you something to eat. You are desperate to find some way to show him that you understand his interests. You want to connect him on a deep soul level. Anything to get him to look you at the eye with a treasured glow of friendship in his eyes. Whenever he mentions space travel, he talks about how it's something he has to do, some kind of necessary obligation. So maybe there's a reason he's fixated on an activity that's kind of similar, but just a little different. Maybe he doesn't want to do the required thing, the space conquest. Doesn't have it in him to rebel entirely all the way. Maybe airplane flight, whatever similar thing he's envisioning, is a compromise between what he has to do and what he wants to do. A balance, like all must find in order to live as an individual in a society that shapes one's desires from birth. You cautiously open your mouth, heart pounding. You venture to ask if your pal, if he would rather not satisfy the demands of the bloodthirsty overlords. If maybe part of him wants to get into his flying machine and, well, leave. For real. He seems taken aback. Maybe you should never have said it. What a huge mistake. You've probably pushed his friendship out of your reach for good now. Panicking, you point to the side, yelling that you see a big field of white flowers in that direction. Your potential friend leaps to action, seemingly also glad to be given a reason not to answer this question. He races forward in the direction you indicated. In a matter of seconds, there's a yelp, and your new acquaintance vanishes. Instantly, you realize your error. You didn't point where you're pointing. Wait, what? You realize you didn't look where you're pointing. You race to the side, your stomach flooding with fear. This is absolutely the opposite of what you wanted. You look out more. Your new friend now looks approximately how you felt when you first crash landed on the dark planet. He is conscious, his face frozen in shock, but one leg is twisted underneath him in a nasty way. You may not be familiar with his alien anatomy, but you're almost positive that it shouldn't look like that. You call to him in distress. Sure, he's going to castigate you for your mistake. The strangeness of his language will make it hurt any less to lose this guy's trust forever. Whoa, what? Ho! Calo, Cole! His voice floats up from the ground below. Weak but somewhat jovial? Is it possible he's not angry? Oh, joyous happenings. Oh, delight for the body and the spirit. Did you see? Did your being absorb what occurred before your very visage? I flew, soared through the air, just for a moment, but it happened. An ecstasy like none I've ever known. You hesitate. Is it really possible that he could be taking this so well? That maybe your big fuck-up was a step in the right direction after all? It's definitely a little worrying to hear him celebrate a dangerous fall. Well, none of that matters if you can secure his friendship at least. My strange associate, come on down here. We will celebrate in grand fashion this eve. How did you know that a brief sojourn through unfettered air would bring me such joy? You're a fine fellow, and truly suburb friend. Your heart lifts with joy. He said it. Of course, now you have to find someone to climb down the cliff with your messed up ribs, not to mention figuring out how to transport someone with a broken leg back to the house. You're not really sure if that's possible, or when the adrenaline that's got you this far will give up and force you to succumb to your own pain. Well, with a night full of difficulties ahead of you, you couldn't ask for a better balm than knowing you'll face them hand in hand with a friend. Assuming he didn't hurt his hands as well. No matter, you did it. That shorty. Alright, let's get this one. Tell me you love spaceflight. Well then, we are in total agreement. Two kindred souls traveling hand in hand to a glorious yet inevitable future of constructed service in space. Which is, as I've already made clear, a thing I most definitely and postulate desire. So it seems we have nothing more to discuss. Toodle-doo! He casts confusion. Tagora, Gorgic. Oh. You wander down a street in a non-too-demolished looking part of town. You don't really take much of it in. You're not looking where you're going. This is an elementary mistake, especially on a planet where everything that exists seems to be on the spectrum of engineered specifically for murder to could be a weapon in a pinch once you've got a law in your mind. And now, as a car, those guys probably have some ridiculous word for it, but you haven't learned it. You had nose slammed into you, sending you flipping head over feet, and you had a few new concerns to your list: your bones and organs. The sound of the driver yelling, "Watch where you're going, limp squirt chugger," fades as they drive away, and you assess your situation. You stretch each limb in turn, which, you've got to say, doesn't feel great. You land in a bush which is covered in sharp spines. Your arms and legs all still work, though, and when you do an experimental cough, no blood comes out. Pretty lucky, you think. You may have redefined what luck means by this point in your journey, but you'll take what you can get. You don't figure that luck will extend to the driver turning around to help you out of this bush. Your gaze is meeting and sparking an intimate and intense connection that leads to a beautiful lifelong friendship, but you let yourself hope. After a few minutes of struggle, the answer to your camaraderie daydreams comes into focus above you. A figure outlined by the spiny leaves of your plant prison and the glow of the moons. The troll you see isn't the driver of the car, but you don't care. Your heart is beating wildly with your continued lucky streak. Why? Why is your text up there? Hello. You seem to have fallen victim to a colliding scamper from that scuttle buggy back there. Oh no. Have you contacted your personal legislator? If not, I'd like to offer my services. Oh, the legislator. Yeah, the thing Terezi wanted to be, I think. No, it was something to do with in the system, if I remember it. What was that fee? What was the 10? Mr. Tagore, good trouble. Hi, my name's Saul Goodman. You know you have rights. Constitution says you do. My name's Tagore Gorjek, but please call me Gorgor. I'm here for you for a nominal fee, of course. Another 10. He pulls a business card from his sleek teal vest and offers to you a precise flick of the wrist. His claw beds are perfect. Oh, it even has a watermark. Try again to sit up. Buoyed by this offer for assistance, he's some type of doctor, maybe. A lawyer? Doesn't matter really, because he said he was here for you. Those words go right ahead and burn themselves onto the softest chamber of your heart. You start telling him your plight thus far, reaching up through the brambles towards his beacon of hope. This guy seems trustworthy, and that's not just for lack of option stalking, you swear. As you shift, the moonlight shines on you. He steps back briefly, dropping the card. The one eye that's not covered by a swoop of pride-confused hair opens wide. He recovers, smoothing his hands down his chest and straightening up, clearing his throat as you continue to explain. You're what? Oh yes, an alien. I knew that. I've done work with aliens before, so your situation shouldn't be an issue at all. Alien laceration stipend. Everyone deserves an equal opportunity represented by me. Yeah, thanks, Saul. I may love my life, but I love money more. Another 10. In fact, we will be able to use this in our favor for our larger cash settlement. It all depends on our angle. Here, try moving your check column. I'm not sure why this is necessary, but you wiggle your torso, hoping you're right. You've never wanted anything more in your meager existence than to follow this specific directive perfectly. No, not that. You had a little hip jiggle, not too much. That I think it just means the leg. You had a little hip jiggle, not so much that he might think it's a come on, but enough to say, "Hey, I'm friendly. I know what the fuck I'm doing." No, you're the thing that holds up your think pan. Work with me. Oh, your neck. You continue what you hope is part of a troll friendship ritual, shooting various parts of your anatomy deeper into the bush until you get to your neck, and he clasps his hands together. There we go. That one hurt, didn't it? Definitely a case of calm snap, which can get us definitely a decently hefty restitution. Your neck feels fine, or it doesn't hurt any more than the rest of you, but you give him what you hope is an immensely painful nod of agreement. Of course, you'll need to front the initial laceration cost. We also have to injure you further to ensure our case is convincing. We've got to break a few cluck beast embryos to make it grubblets, as you know. This is one of my favorite teals, by the way. The Saul Goodman of trolls. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if he was part of that whole hit and run situation. Yes, I think we may make a mutually beneficial team if you're willing to do what it takes to bring about the justice you deserve. Stop adding 10 costs for every dialogue box. So what do you say? How'd you like to help me help you? Talking really fast, you're not sure exactly what to think about your lack of funds or the idea of breaking any more bones, but that smile is sharp and shiny and pointed right at you. You want it more. All right, let's get him. Let's lose him immediately. Ask him if he does pro bono work. You thank him profusely for his offer to help, and explain that while your situation has exactly left you very rich, you'll pay him back in glorious friendship, the most infinite of resources. You lay it on thick. He seems like a guy who can appreciate a good deal when he sees one, and you can't imagine a better deal than this. You reach both arms up, waiting for him to scoop you up out of this pain plant like the gentle baby you are. Sorry, I don't do charity. Such a shame, too. I was hoping working with an alien might make for a more interesting day than usual. You're not worth it, minus 900. He turns on his heel and walks away, his highlighted ponytail swishing behind him. Friendship is not a currency. There's another teal, very desu, that I don't know if I find funnier or cringe than top tier. I had a thought 2 days ago. I think it had to do with like subs versus dubs or whatever. And just one thing that popped into mind is like, yeah, dialect could probably be written a little more accurately. But I think another problem is sometimes when the lines are read, it's like they're winking at the camera when they say the line instead of saying it with their chest, you know? Like, yeah, I'm gonna read cringe, but I'm gonna say it with my whole fucking heart and soul. Like, this is what this character wants to say, I'm gonna fucking say it. Because remember, you can be cringe, but you can also be free. You'll never be based, and that's okay. I'm trying to remember the line. I am cringe, and I'll never be based, and that's not cringe. Like, yeah, would I like my subtitles to be different? Would I like my translation games to be different? Yes. But if we're not gonna get to that point, save your fucking chest then. It falls on you at that point. Make me believe it. Sell me the fucking funny pencil with 4 different color of pens inside. Yeah, no, that's something I don't like is when don't wink at the camera, essentially. Don't do that. Always play it straight. Alright, we will continue now. Which is not a currency. God. Love this guy. Tell him about the heaps of money you definitely have. You mentioned how incredibly loaded you are, how core to your sense of values it is to pay well for good work. That's what we call it. That's what we call good business. Now, get up from that freckle frond and let's get you presentable. He watches you flail a few times before he sighs, unbuttons his sleeves and rolls them up to his elbows. Each fold is crisp and even. Takes a while, but you're good at being patient. There is a 12% cost increase for instances of manual labor. It'll all be explained in your bill. I hate it. Fun fact, my brother has a crippling fear of paperwork, like any good citizen should have. I too have a fear of paperwork. I've gotten a little more used to it. But I don't like this. No, explain to me up front. Don't make me, don't tell me later. Tell me now. No. If we did that, we'd have to increase your costs. Fuck you. It's itemized. Manual labor hike. Oh boy. I'm sure an alien of means such as yourself will be able to handle it. You take it. I love that spray. I love that spray. Come on here. Come on, shake my hand. Let's seal the deal. Come on, buddy. You dig his hand as he pulls you up and out of the bush. It's kind of a rough job, but he's not as strong as he looks, we guess. He glares at you like he's daring you to say shit about it. You are a quick learner. He cuts you off mid thank you. My office isn't far from here. We can go there to get things started. And by things, I absolutely mean get you clean and sign a lot of vaguely worded yet stringently binding documents. He walks with a purpose. Shake off the floor stuck in your various body parts and do your best to catch up. On the outside, his office basically just seems like his hive. You've learned a thing or two during this shitstorm of a cultural exchange, though. You gotta play cool when a potential friend invites you home. You never know what cages or monsters or methods of evisceration they might have laying around, and you want to prepare a nice, chill look on your face for whatever carnage you're about to be confronted by. Oh. Otter? Doesn't work. Your face falls to bewildered hell when you walk inside, because it's all chrome and glass and broad. And it's all chrome and glass and broad white walls in there. It's like he bought the fanciest looking crate and barrel design. Oh my gosh. It's like he bought the fanciest looking crate and barrel display room he could find, down to the last useless minimalist accessory, and then never sat down in it. His Lucis, a ferret. Ah, it's a ferret. Okay. Is chilling on an enormous silver thing that's halfway between a throne and a play tower. That's just funny. I just thought to myself for a second, like, would the cats use this or no? I think they would, just because it's like, it's higher up. Because for some reason, cats really like being high up. Everything is clean and bright and at perfect right angles. And you don't see any weapons anywhere. It's fucking creepy. You ask him if you just moved in, because polite conversation seems like maybe the best thing you can do. In the absence of something specific to focus your fear on, you're just sort of a little afraid of everything. They like to feel tall. Yeah, they do. You're not paying me to learn my life story, unless you'd like to. In that case, no. I've lived here most of my life. I'll go ahead and add that to your motherfucker. How? That's the most expensive thing so far, is to him just give us a life story. How long is the life story? 2 sentences. How much were those 2 sentences? 1,500. Thank you. Okay. You stare at one of the chairs. Should you sit in it? By all means, do not make yourself at home. Head straight to the Appellation Trap while I prepare a contract. You really want to connect with this guy, and you like how you just vibe there, where you were thinking about sitting your bed-wrangled ass in this fancy chair, and you could totally tell you were thinking it. But you don't want to be friends badly enough to walk straight into something that has the word trap right there in its name without at least pondering it for a second. You've become savvier during all this time. No entrapment, please. You tell me you'd rather stay away from any and all traps, if that's alright. You mention that you think that's the better move for both of you. The thing tells you this guy wants to know what's in it for him. Probably all the times he said explicitly that, you gotta have that vibe going after all. He taps a claw on his chin and looks up and down. He takes his time. You try not to blush, no matter how his exacting. Oh, dear Lord, he's just staring right at me. Oh my gosh. Stop. You present a solid case. Get the fuck out of my house. Your whole look is more than a bit repellent, but it may make the pitiable lost alien angle more emotionally effective if you still look like you just got ran over. Frown. Takes you a second to realize he didn't just say his physical emotive response. Oh. Let's see. Say his physical emotive response instead of doing it with his face. It gives you a direction. You stick your lower lip out and try to look as pathetic as possible. Yeah, this is really working for me. You look horrendous. You look like the roadkill my dog would shit out. You are the epitome of garbage. My friend, you have a talent and we need to seize it. Awful, completely repugnant. Your general squalor should function as a simple manipulation tactic, no matter which direction I decide to spin it. The praise makes it hard to keep frowning, but if I should, you do your best to keep it up. Even hunch over a bit and shamble a few meager steps towards him. Good. Great. Yes. That's enough. No need to come any closer. Seriously, you smell terrible. Okay then, let's get the hygiene and get straight to the best part. Bureaucracy. Stay right there and don't get any of your crusty alien orifice near my decor. I'll go print out our contract and we can move on. Reimbursement. Reimbursement. You pretend you're a statue while he types things, then prints the typed things, then staples the printed things. This ferret Lucis stares at you with beady interest. You stare back, completely emotionless. You wonder how often Gorgor has friends come over. He brings the packet over to you and hands you a pen. Read this, or don't. Sign it either way. It's a standard lacerator agreement, tweaked a bit to accommodate your particular situation. You know, you agree to submit your testimony to be judged and will accept whatever subjugulation you receive. You recognize that any potential winnings are to be remitted to me for processing through a local account before your portion can be dispensed to you. In the event of your culling, I will act as the executor on your accounts. Blah blah, same old business. I'm sure it's the same where you're from. There are stars at each place. Your traditional shrunken text expense. You motherfucker. At least I guess that one kind of makes sense because he's saying more in the same amount of space. But it's also like a 1,200 increase in price because each text box is 10, but then for that shrunken text it's 1,200. That sure was a lot of stuff that you just got told real fast. You were trying to listen, really? But you winked at the early on in his monologue, and it was really distracting because you couldn't stop thinking about if you could incorporate a wink into a secret handshake. Maybe. Anyway, regular legal jargon, yeah, just like all the times you clicked to say you read the terms and conditions on any old harmless social media app. That stuff never ends up being relevant. You show off your exquisitely polished John handcuff as many times as it takes. Excellent. Everything's in order then. Are you ready to head out? I don't know why, but reading his dialogue is just so hard for me for some reason. Oh, like now? Now. You're not ready. Do you look roughed up enough? Will your bones need to go through any more ordeals? What a subjugulator. Just gore? No sweep like the one you're fucking in, as they say. Swear jar. Oh. Pardon the language. It's an idiom. It means time to fucking go. Let's watch that fucking language. You follow him out about as apprehensively as you followed him in. As you retrace the path you took not too long ago, it occurs to you to wonder where this glorious feat of justice is going to take place. And, like, if anyone is going to subpoena the asshole that hit you, is that even a thing here? You skip up to match Tagor's pace and ask. There's no real need for you to worry about that. It's for me to deal with. I saw the perpetrator, of course. If it seems prudent to pin the crime on them when the time's come, I'll have more than enough credible evidence to condemn them. Their blood cash should be sufficient, but if it seems worth it to call in their dented scuttlebug, I can certainly do that as well. Bonus for potential frame. Nice. Of course, that's not the only way we can spin this. It may not be necessary to involve them at all. Don't bother worrying about that either. You definitely still worry about that, but you nod and keep walking like you're not bothered. You want to match his level of easy confidence. It's almost comforting to be around it. Now that you've spent some time with him, it's simple. You're still basking in the ease of being told what to do when the whole vibe flips over on its ass so fast you could feel it like ice cream on... You're still basking in the ease of being told what to do when the whole vibe flips over on its ass so fast you could feel it like ice cream down on your back. Look at Tagore first. He stopped walking, and his posture somewhat gets straighter. Even his cute little ponytail thing looks more alert. He's staring at the approach of another troll, Blue Guy. You know what that means. High blood, but not much else about what that entails. Aside from what you're picking out from the full hair-on-end cat reaction from old Gorgor next to you. A pleasant evening, sir. His voice gets somehow sweeter and more professional at the same time. You recognize what he's feeling because you felt it in yourself the whole time you've been on this godforsaken planet. A deep, all-consuming thirst for approval. He's gunning hard for business boy friendship. The high blood, however, is not. At first, you think he might be chill because the smile gets huge. And hell, if you don't love getting smiled upon. You start to introduce yourself until Toguro shoots you a be cool look. It's then you learn what this guy's smile is not the nice kind. What's this, he asks? Gorgor picked up a little friend? It's not. We have a working relationship. You try not to let his dismissal of your friendship sting. You're not there yet. It's okay. You want to be helpful, so you put on your best injured face and start hobbling in a circle, twisting your neck at the most grotesque angle you can manage without actually hurting yourself. You're growing pitifully about all your bones. Alright, you're booming your own pursuing business. This client you have here looks extra shitty. Good luck getting anything good for whatever this moon is that you scraped up from the gristle grates. If you take a moment to consider the potential, the blue guy rolls his eyes and keeps walking, elbowing his way right between the two of you on his way past, like you're nothing. Toguro freezes. His eyes stay fixed ahead of him, where the blue guy was just standing. It's like he hasn't processed the movement yet. Even though he got knocked back a few steps in his wake, he starts shaking. Yikes, that was intense. You want to say something reassuring to Toguro, but he has kind of ascended into another plane of existence. Maybe a nice reassuring pat on the shoulder will help diffuse the mood. You put a ginger hand in the mere vicinity of the body, and he whirls to face you, eyes narrowed and breathing heavy. You snatch your hand back fast. Mistake. You. Do you have any idea how rare that networking opportunity was? Do you realize what you... No, of course you don't. You don't know anything. You're just a weird little hornless thing who doesn't even know how to cross the fucking streets. He starts laughing all high-pitched and weird. Up until now, he seems so slick, so unflappable. That Gorgor is hard to reconcile with the one pacing back and forth, hollering and grabbing at his face. He's pretty goddamn flapped. Oh boy, you really screwed up, huh? Maybe your busted neck routine was not convincing enough, or too convincing? Either way, you figure now might be the time to bow out before the scene really blows up. You tell him so. Your neck's fine, look. You headbang a bit to prove it. No. A deal is a deal is a deal. He breathes in slowly through his nose. Alright, Gorgor, remember your mantra. He closes his eyes. After an awkward minute of watching him whisper something unintelligible to himself, he opens them and immediately starts up that bonkers pace again, so you skedaddle to catch up. He keeps talking, though by now he's just talking to himself, with you as an eavesdropping barnacle with really slow legs. Little manic giggles bubble out in between his sentences. We're headed towards justice after all. Keep walking. We're seeing this through. I've got a bottom line to uphold. Oh, he really hates you. He's up the prices. Okay, not bad. Maybe things are still cool between you. Maybe this lawyer/client friendship still has a chance to blossom into something more. You run to a friendly type topic and ask him about his mantra. He stops walking and looks at you like you shot in as loose as his grave. Don't just ask someone what their mantra is. Maybe not so cool. He shivers, spooked, and turns his stanky stare from you to the path you're on. After a moment, he smooths back all the hair he shook out of place during his freakout, pivots, and turns down a side street. Anyways, as I was about to say, there are many ways to fulfill terms of our contract. I was hoping this would lead to a more stimulating evening. I was prepared to get into it with you, for you. But it's become clear that this partnership is no longer worth the work. Especially now that I have to consider the significant career setback I just experienced at your feckless hand. So instead of wasting any more of my time or yours, let's take a shortcut to the same end result, sparing us both the agony of enduring a long court battle in the proximity of one another. Here's your verdict. You're guilty. Guilty? Wait, wasn't supposed to be the other guys on trial? You look around, panic rising in your chest. Oh, don't tell me. You don't know how the legal system works either. Unsurprising and uninteresting. Oh, this is bad. You've been so caught up in watching him talk that you didn't notice him guiding you straight to the shittier part of town. You know, the part that's all half demolished, hives and creepy noises and drones flying around. Drones like the one that turns to notice you when Tagore whistles, snaps his fingers, and points right at your head. Hey, big guy. Over here. One extremely malformed and unviable troll. Just the way you like it. You shouldn't feel surprised at the betrayal. Maybe, but you do. For a second anyway. Then you focus on yelling and scanning for possible debris to hide under. Tagore starts backing away as the drone gets closer. There's a sewer to the street next over. You probably won't make it. But if you do, check your pocket. Oh, that was another long bad end. Okay. Good. And I'm assuming that all went south because I looked like such a piece of shit. You're more than a little concerned about the trap part of the instructions you just received, but hey, at least the trap you know about is better than the one you don't. For everything else, you can see so freaky pristine. He has to be hiding some evil somewhere. You wonder if it's a dungeon. Dungeon would be cool. The ferret bounced down off its pedestal and jerks its head for you to follow it. You do, because it seems like a regular thing to do. Tagore is busy on his computer. It leads you to a bathroom, which is just as fancy and clean as everything else you've seen. The Lucis chitters at you for a second, squirms its big noodly body around, and leaves, shutting the door behind it. The PNG hopping, I forgot. You wait a second till it's probably gone before you test the handle. It's unlocked, huh? You don't know what the point, or, motive might be for leading you to this room until you turn and see yourself in the mirror. That is some haggard looking stuff right here there. So, fair. You're flying by the seat of your pants, but you guess maybe you're supposed to take a bath? If not, and he gets pissed and unleashes the ferret on you, at least you'll make your maker nice and clean. Oh my. I don't know why, but I just cannot read today. I don't know why we're hard. I don't know why me can no read the letter on the monitor. You have to expect some indiscernible goo or blood or something to come out of the faucet in the weird lumpy tub, but thankfully it's just water. Once you're in, you take a look at the truly inordinate amount of bath products you have at your fingertips. There are 3 shelves of little bottles and soaps and unidentifiable lathersome accessories by the tub alone. There's even more by the mirror. The labels are all gibberish, of course, but you sniff a few until you find something flowery and go to town. You take more time than you should in there, but you haven't experienced a moment of luxurious solitude in a bit. Full-time friendship searching could be a difficult work. It's good to recharge. Once you're freshly scrubbed and dried, you slather yourself head to toe. Once you're freshly scrubbed and dried, you slather yourself head to toe with some lotion you find in an iridescent vial. You hope he won't mind you using it. He wants you to be presentable, and this stuff is sparkly. You're starting to feel rejuvenated as hell, ready to knock this friendship stuff right out of the park. You leave your dirty, torn up clothes on the floor, wrap yourself in one of the many satin bathrobes full on the shelf, and head back out to find Tagore. He's standing in his foyer, waiting with the contract he typed up for you. When he sees you, his eyebrow ticks up. I see you wanted the Rainbow Drinker Serum, full body application. Not Terezi. Kanai is a fucking rainbow drinker. Bold choice. I mean, it's an extremely rare and expensive product, and I do expect to be reimbursed, but I won't lie. It works. Yeah, you know, that's fair. That's fair you charge that much. Yeah, sure, that stuff. You don't want to let on that you don't know what it is, since he seems impressed. Instead, you give his ego a little stroke. Tell him you hadn't seen such a scrumptious array of self-care accoutrements in so long that you couldn't help yourself. Not everyone takes skincare seriously as they should. I assumed you were taking forever there because you'd gotten lost. You didn't know how to use the absolution trap. I consider the possibility that you're just doing a regimen. Noted. Rebate for impeccable skincare. You hold your arms out to admire the well-hydrated sheen you have going on. This time, you're not really even bullshitting. It just does absolutely look pretty good. Igor seems like he's struggling. He keeps opening his mouth to say something, then changing his mind. He's clutching the document in his hand like a flotation device. Looks down at them, then back at you. I typically only use that particular product to highlight my cheek blades. But there's no real reason you shouldn't apply it more liberally, especially if cost isn't an issue. It's a little drastic for my personal style, but there's a certain unorthodox glamour to it. The next bit looks like it hurts him a bit to get out. Do you? Would you like to step outside to see the full effect? You bet your ass you would. You're curious about what he means by effect, and this seems like more fun than signing stuff. He places the document down on his desk like they're made of glass, not paper. He looks up at his Lucis, who just sort of tilts its head to the side. You look away and give them privacy to do whatever. Eyeball communication is going on. After a bit, Tagora clears his throat and heads towards the door. You don't comment on the bluish flush in his cheeks. For all the shift in his demeanor, he still seems like he might kick you out on your ass if you try to get too feelingsy with him. You start to glow as soon as you step back out into his dark front yard. Not in a light bulb kind of way, but a subtle ethereal luminescence. What is this stuff? Now that is a look. I mean, there's still the unfortunate issue of your formlessness and overall aberrance, but the fact that you're still wearing my Azurance robe. But it's cutting edge, I'll give you that. You look almost like a real one. You know what that means? Do you want to roll around eternally in the praise part? You ask if the look will help in your case. Oh, right, your case, of course. He bites his lips and looks back through the window at the papers sitting on the desk where he left them. You hope he still wants to represent you, or at least that he'd want to hang out even if he wasn't going to. You don't get a chance to prod though, because right then someone rounds the corner on the sidewalk in front of his hive. It's the blue blood. Tagora's face immediately shudders into its usual simpering mask. There's an edge of panic around his eye though. Huh. Wow, Gorgic. What have we here? It's a blue-themed troll, which, if you remember right, means he's a fancier guy than Tagora. He's grinning like Troll Christmas came early. You feel Tagora vibrating out of his skin next to you. Who even is this guy? When he gets close enough to get a good look at you, he jumps and screeches, "What the balls boiling fuck?" Tagora's frozen, the corner of his mouth pulled back to show his teeth. The new guy is ignoring him in favor of noticing that you're dressed in Tagora's monogrammed leisure wear. If his look of fascinated horror is anything to go by, you don't really know what to make it. Next thing, skip that. You don't really know what makes you do it. You don't know why you don't. You don't really know what makes you do it. You wait for Tagora to get himself together and do the talking, but you're riding the high of him almost seemingly like he was enjoying your company. Plus, nothing boosts confidence like looking like a beautiful spooky angel. So you toss your head, pull up your best fancy guy voice and say, "What? Never seen a real one before?" You're placing all your chips on this guy knowing something you don't. But when his eyes get huge and starts stumbling over himself to back away down the sidewalk, you know it's paid off. Tagora blinks, then jumps right in, picking up directly where you left off. Surely someone as well informed as you knows a rainbow drinker when he sees one. The blue guy doesn't respond with anything more than coherent than a string of yelps as he hightails it back the way he came. When he's gone, turn to Tagora and asks him super casually what a rainbow drinker is. He stares at you in stunned silence. Are you Are you telling me you didn't know? You nod. And that you ran with it anyway, exploiting the fear you picked up on to turn the tide of a delicate encounter to your favor. You shrug. You guess so. You tell Gory you hope his friend wasn't too freaked out. Friend? No, I hate that guy. There are simply times when being liked by your betters is helpful. Though technically, hearing me is just as good. Better, maybe. So, thank you. Tagoro's laugh is soft, but it's not a sound you expected to hear. He's happy because of something you did. You can't help it. You start laughing too. That was a bit of a rush, wasn't it? It was almost fun. I certainly didn't see it coming anyway. I underestimated you. Gives you an appraising look, and then takes a deep breath. You're so nervous all of a sudden. You feel unbalanced on the precipice of what he might be about to say. From one investigator to another, I will let you in on something. I haven't actually encountered an alien before. So, third charge for truth reveal. Oh, sweet relief. You tell him his act was airtight. As long as everyone's doing the true thing, you admit you lied a bit too. You aren't actually rich. Yes, that's clear now. You have the inviolable ability to fake it though. That's potentially much better. Why don't we put your case on hold for the time being? You wouldn't have enjoyed the outcome of the legal system anyway. Preemptive interest on hold suit. We can find an alternative means of you working off your debt. I think we may make a better team than I previously anticipated. With our wits combined, we can tackle bigger and better things than traffic injuries. He flexes his hand at his side, then in one swift, incisive movement, he extends it out to you. On his face is something close to an honest-to-God, real-ass smile. I've never actually formed a legitimate partnership of any sort before, but I believe this is how it's done. What do you say, friend? The glow in your heart shines brighter than any expensive and still kind of mysterious lotion. You take his hand in your firm, no nonsense grasp of pure and exonerable joy and shake it. Friendship. Just sign here. That was good. If there's anyone I would have had read that part, it probably wouldn't have been Pivot. I probably would have had Pivot read the lawyer guy. Or the legislate I don't remember the name. Yeah, I think you would have had a pretty good voice for that. All right, what is the next? Let's see. Nope, not that. Close menu, start. Affectionate, unwanted, or untrue of text and rendering. All right, I think I will call it there. I don't know why, but my reading was just really bad today. I think that's like the most I've fumbled recently. Yeah, next time we'll be picking up of affection, unwatched, or untrue. So it looks like these parts are starting to get longer. So I will try to account for that. I'll try to give myself 3 hours instead of the 2.5 I told myself for today. Also, I did Oh No Volume 5. Oh, looks like we're going to start with a good one if you're going with Oh No. Yeah, it looks like Tuesday. Oh yeah, as a reminder, I will not be streaming Friday or Monday, as those are the days my brother has off. So we'll be back on Tuesday with the same old schedule. Minetta is one of the trolls in here called Minetta. Oh, also, I'll probably be updating the name of the streams, to say uh, what volumes we did that part, just so people know, or if they're looking for a specific one or anything in the playlist. No, won't say more? Okay. Alright. But yeah, I think that'll be it. Um, if there is a stream tomorrow, it's probably because my brother's gonna work overtime. I don't know if he is though, but we'll see. If he does, I'll stream this and we can do part 5 tomorrow. But again, that's only if he works overtime, which again, I don't think he will, but he's been doing it pretty frequently, so we'll see what happens. He might want to finally enjoy his 40 weekends again instead of getting a bunch of money. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good weekend and do look forward to the next parts. Take care, y'all. I'll see you next time. Thank you for stopping by. Bye bye.